Ash Ketchum through the years has caught a lot of charismatic, strong, and overall great Pokemon. Just take for example his Infernape, Greninja, Charizard, and yes, even Pikachu. But in the span of bringing us all these awesome Pokemon, there have also been some rather weak or uninteresting Pokemon. So today I thought I would compile a list of Ash's weakest/worst Pokemon that he has ever had. And when I talk about his worst, I specifically mean their performance in battle, not their personality, because no matter what people say, results always trump how good of a person you are. Just look at me. I'm a fucking loser. But anyway, if you want to see me redub any more of Erizyo's videos, then hit like. Now, I had a really tough time putting this Pokemon on the list, but Boldore really had somewhat of a tough time fitting into Ash's team. It started out pretty well, coming in clutch against Clay, and I mean really clutch. It took 2 Horn Drills. 2. But afterwards, this Pokemon was used in the Junior Cup against Geraldo and ended up winning the battle. But after that, it didn't win any other matchups. It lost to Juniper and Bianca, Roxy almost immediately, and Cameron's Hydreigon in the Virtuous Conference. But even though it racked up these losses, I can't ignore the key victories that it got. Therefore, this Pokemon gets the number 10 spot, just barely making the list. Coming in at number 9, we have the first of 2 Kanto Pokemon to make the list, Tauros. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up. Calm down. Let me explain. Tauros was an interesting Pokemon to say the least. It appeared in the Safari Zone episode of the Indigo League. Ash caught 30 of them, and afterwards we didn't really get to see Tauros in battle. It wasn't until the Orange Islands that we finally got to see Tauros in action, and admittedly, he was pretty darn good. It had great beginner's first luck against Drake, beating his Venusaur, and even won a Tauros competition, beating his Tauros that won 10 times straight. But the fact of the matter is, Tauros has lost more than it won. It easily got taken out by Gary's Nidoqueen, stood no chance against Annabelle's Alakazam, and fared a bit better against her Metagross in the rematch, but still ended up losing. And going back to Drake, he also ended up facing his Dragonite, and although he put up a very good fight, he still fell short there, which is even more concerning considering that he had previously fought both Charizard and Squirtle. So that makes it even worse than before. I don't know about you guys, but I really hated Ash's roles in winning the Orange Island. This Pokemon just seems like a stuck-up brat. He didn't really do much anywhere else. You stupid and I know some people will say that Tauros is one of Ash's strongest Pokemon. You talk too loud. So incorrect. Keep it down. We can't ignore the other losses that he had. Mom. I'll keep it down. Do you want dog for dinner? Yes, dog sounds great. Okay, I cook now. Okay, get on my video. I'm sorry for my Asian impression, guys. But anyway, this Pokemon has been seen in key battles and only occasionally come up big. It took out Trip Servine, Clay's Palpitoad, Georgia's Ponyard, but when it really came down to it, like when Ash really needed a victory, Snivy just couldn't pull through. She lost to Trip's Frillish, Trip Servine in the rematch, Alicia's Emolga, Tornadus and Thunderous, which I won't hold against her. Our first and only Johto Pokemon to enter the list. There's also Clay's is actually one of my favorite Pokemon that Ash has owned. And of course, Cameron's Totodile. Again, this Pokemon did rack up some wins, but when it really mattered, Snivy just couldn't pull through. Thwomp. How could you? I can't. Why? Okay, shut up. Let me explain. Like I said, Totodile was one of my favorite Pokemon that Ash has owned. I mean, how can you not get behind its happy-go-lucky attitude, its adorable voice, and come on, that dance? But the facts are facts, and Totodile's win-to-loss ratio is less than stellar. Its key losses were against Janina's Onyx, Whitney's Miltank twice, Harrison's Sneasel in the first battle, and in two of those battles, Totodile got knocked out in one hit. Although Totodile did rack up some key victories as well, the most notable being against Harris's Sneasel in the rematch. All in all, Totodile wasn't the worst of the bunch, but definitely could have done a lot better. Maybe evolve your Pokemon next time, Ash. Speaking of evolving Pokemon, the next Pokemon who I have on the list is actually one of the few that Ash evolved. Shocking, I know, but this one actually turned out to lose more as it evolved. I am, of course, talking about Ash's Torterra. Now, if I could, I would like to exclude Turtwig because it actually did put in a lot of work during the early parts of Ash's adventure. I mean, for Christ's sake, it held its own against Paul's Chimchar. He's a beast. Or she. I don't want to assume genders. But as it became a Grottle and eventually a Torterra, it started to lose more often, and it makes sense too, because Turtwig's whole battle style revolves around speed. And when it evolved into a Grottle, it gets a larger and heavier body, therefore losing that speed. Afterwards, Grottle had to change its entire strategy up, which didn't fare well. It lost to Candace, Paul, Palmer, Volkner, Bertha, Volkner again, and Paul's Drapion after it had already battled Weasel and Staraptor. I'm sorry, but now, even although the Black and White games had a very compelling and thought-provoking story, the anime was one of the worst in the entire franchise. Just kill yourself, Silent. Nobody likes you. See that shine? There's nothing like polished flatware. But one of the things the Best Wishes series did right was give us a bunch of useless and terrible Pokemon on Ash's team. Thanks for making the research on me easier, guys. But the second Pokemon of the bunch to make the list is Oshawott. Not only was this thing useless in battle, but it also had a stupid and annoying personality too. And guess what? It didn't evolve. What else is new? Okay. Okay, that's it. Bang, bang, bang. Next time I have to bring out my gun, someone's gonna get shot. Anyways, taking a look at Oshawott's win-loss record, it's not looking too good. Not terrible when you think about it, but that's why he's not higher on the list. During the Unova journey, Oshawott has lost to Trip, Cameron's, Chili's Panzer, Clay's Palpitoad, Sharon's Herdier, and Lenora twice, the second time knocking himself out. Although Oshawott did have some high points in the series as well, the most notable being beating Silent and beating Clay's Krokorok. One of the weirdest acquisitions this Pokemon was still more of a burden than an asset. Has to be Palpitoad. There was literally no reason to add him. He already had an Oshawott and would later on get a Crocodile, so Palpitoad had no use being there once he got Krokorok. But either way, he does add him to the team, and he doesn't do really anything. He only managed to pick up 2 victories in a club battle against Burgundy and Dino, and one matchup with Elisa Zebstrika. I should also add that it only managed to tie in the Virtuous Conference against a Zebstrika, which, might I add, is an electric-type Pokemon. Besides that, he lost to Roxy's Garbodor and Elisa's Amoga. Although with that battle, it was more so Ash's fault for not paying attention to fatigue, but he still lost. So all in all, Palpitoad was really a pointless addition to the team. This is the last bit of hate on Gen 5. I'm sorry, but this region was really bad. But at least it wasn't as bad as his next Pokemon. The next Gen 5 Pokemon to be put in the old doghouse is none other than the proud Pokemon herself, Unfezant. Don't know how proud this Pokemon will be when she finds out. Ouch, she's on the list, but God, I hate this thing. What other Pokemon could be more useless than this Pokemon? Well, apparently two, I guess, but seriously, this thing really sucks. In her entire time with Ash, this Pokemon has only racked up 2 victories. With help. And those victories came against Skyla's team, where it defeated Swoobat with the help of Krokorok and Swanna with the help from Pikachu. Besides that, she lost to Roxy, Trip, and Cameron's Riolu. Let me repeat that. Cameron's Riolu, a fighting type pre-evolution. Look, I get that Cameron is a strong trainer and all, but come on, a fully involved Unfezant couldn't take down a single Riolu. I think you guys expected this Pokemon to be on the list, and with good reason too. This Pokemon really sucks. This Pokemon was in case you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I'm obviously referring to Torkoal. I'm sorry, Torkoal, your personality was awesome, but your win-loss record says it all. You suck. Torkoal has lost to Watson's Magnetric, Norman's Vigoroth, Katie's Golduck, Morrison's Steelix, Tyson's Hariyama, and Brandon's Registeel. And with all of these losses, the only significant victories Torkoal received were against Norman's Slackoth, Tyson's Shiftry, and a draw with a Tropius. So, as you can see, Torkoal is definitely one of Ash's weakest Pokemon. But hey, at least you had a redeeming personality, though. So here we are at the number one spot. In my book, Torkoal. The worst Pokemon that Ash has ever owned has to be Pidgeotto. Now, I know it may not seem fair because he didn't get a lot of screen time, but even so, it never won a battle. Like, that's enough said right there. Pidgeotto has lost to Team Rocket, which is sad of and of itself, the Samurai's Pinsir, Brock's Geodude, Koga's Venomoth, and as a fun one, an ancient giant Gengar. Yeah, I know, the anime is weird. And like I said, it didn't win any battles, but it did play a part in getting the Viridian Gym badge for Ash. But it didn't directly knock out any Pokemon. And yes, I know, it did eventually evolve, but as soon as it did, Ash sent it away, so we never got to see it in battle. At least Torkoal won something, Pidgeotto. You couldn't even beat Team Rocket. Thank you so much for watching. I don't care what anyone says. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Is most definitely subscribe and leave a comment. And with that, I'll see you all next time.